Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Wellington, Florida. Our first of two matches in World Polo League action today. Alegria taking on Audi here. Good morning. My name is Gus Whitelaw. I am joined by the commissioner of the World Polo League this morning, Mr. Dale Smickless. Dale, welcome to the World Polo League booth. We're happy to have you here.
Glad to be here, Gus. Thanks a lot.
Looking for an 11 o'clock start here, running a little bit behind, but players coming onto the field now. A beautiful day in South Florida. We saw a little bit of moisture overnight. That should make the footing just about perfect on this field here at Grand Champions today. Two awesome teams on the pitch right now, Audi and Alegria. Audi has secured their spot in the semifinals of the Palm Beach Open. Alegria, the same in the semifinals of our subsidiary tournament. Today, what we're playing for out here is essentially seeding in both of these. The Palm Beach Open has several teams that are 3-0, one that is already 4-0. Audi looks to go 4-0 here today. That would make them an even record with SD Farms, who's also 4-0, and then that last team, Colorado, who's 3-0, will play this afternoon. Dale, help me out here. If all those teams go, if Audi wins here this morning, Colorado wins this afternoon, SD's already won, so we'd have three teams at 4-0 to determine then positioning for the semis. I assume there would be a shootout. Is that how that would go?
First, we'd go to, if one of the teams that's in the tie played another one of the teams that's in the tie, then we'd go to who beat who in that game. In the event that that doesn't happen, then we will go to a shootout with the teams that have the same record.
Interesting. Okay, and then that fourth team, Grand Champions, Casablanca, is already probably in the fourth slot there. Is that right?
Yes,
so
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. They ended up 3-1. At this point in time, the best Alegria can end up is 2-2. This game is literally to determine who's going to play who in the semifinals of the Open on behalf of Audi as well as Colorado this afternoon, and then the same is true of Alegria here this morning and Blackwatch this afternoon for the handicap of this subsidiary.
Well, we'll see how this one goes down here. Audi comes out of the gates hot. Chris Campson wins the throw in there, sends crossfield. Pablo McDonough in on the action there, trying to connect with an in-motion Nick Roldan, and it's knocked out of there by Juan Martin Obregón for the Alegria squad. Here's Pablo in the corner here. Pablo McDonough, the 10-goaler for the Audi squad, trying to work it along the back line. I think it has gone over that back line and out of play. We'll do some team lineups here. Mark Ganzi in the number 1 position for Audi. Roldan at 2. Pablo at 3. And Chris Campson in the number 4 position. Audi had started with a little bit different formation earlier in the season, and as I've talked to the Audi players, they've said that switching that up, Dale, has really kind of been the secret. No longer a secret though to their success. Getting it to click. Look at this, just like this. That allows Roldan to do just like that. Play that position, that number 2, perfectly there, and picking up some scraps there and putting the first point on the board was Nick Roldan.
Yep, they did. They figured out that their team lineup early in the season was not correct, and they changed it, which put Nick up at 2 in front of Pablo and Chris at the back door. Chris has a lot of powerful horses and a lot of long speed, and he's a big hitter. Pablo's a master in the middle of the game, as we have all seen, even in 40-goal polo, and so they really did find their lineup, the right lineup, and they're really clicking.
And it was interesting to talk to Nick about how he feels comfortable playing up front. That's where he, I guess, has been playing more up front in England and in Argentina as well. And our first foul of the match here coming in. Chucker number 1 with 5:38 left to play in the period.
Yeah, it looked like the window was closing enough that they went ahead and called that. And as you can tell, Mark's not happy about the call, but because he thought he had enough room. But the umpires felt differently, and so Alegria will be hitting their first penalty shot of the day, which would be a penalty for 60-yarder.
So 1-0 here. Chucker number 1. That right away foul has been one they've been so consistent with.
I think that everybody's going into this third tournament. Everybody from the player standpoint as well as the official standpoint now really understands exactly how we're going to officiate these games. I met with the teams and captains after the second tournament, and we sat and discussed amongst the teams and amongst the umpires how they felt about the way things had gone so far. Nobody had any significant issues, and so everybody ended up on the same page. And I think that we've seen a consistent style of play by the players, and we've seen a consistent style of umpiring by the umpires.
And, you know, it always takes a little while for teams to kind of figure the officiating out when the season starts.
Absolutely.
And we saw a little bit of that, you know, but I think that, like you said, that you know, people have a grasp on it, and they really have a grasp on the, you know, give the guy, if you foul him, give him room, because they're not going to blow it if you let him maintain that opportunity.
Exactly right.
And that is, you can see it click with guys. They can kind of see, you know, I need to clear here. What we're seeing is essentially a redo there. Juan Martin Obregón had a great shot on his first attempt. It was knocked down and eventually wide on the penalty 6. Then the ensuing penalty 6, the safety was sent wide right off the bat and turns into a knock-in here with Chris Campson, bringing it back into play here for those boys in red, the Audi squad. It's Campson to Pablo McDonough. Pablo. Oh, nice work there. Colombres, Gringo Colombres picking the pocket there of Pablo McDonough. Gringo now trying to create an offensive opportunity for those guys in front there, Mannix and Bray, but turned back nicely by Roldan. Coming back, though, here's Colombres looking for the back shot to goal. Roldan is in the right spot and takes control here at a lope for Audi. Nick Roldan winds up, trying to find the Cobra in front there, bounces off an opponent. Roldan makes better contact on the second attempt, and here comes Mark Ganzi on a pony named Kornikova. Ganzi, a nice approach shot. Mark Ganzi looking for an early Cobra strike here, and Chucker number 1. Ganzi coming across the front of the goal mouth there, having a little bit of trouble there. Nice saving back shot by Mark Ganzi. Campson trying to get in on the action. It's picked up here by Jesse Bray. Bray on the gray. That gray drops its head and takes off running there. Nice work there over the midfield line. It's a horse race, and Jesse has the horse. Bray working downfield. The ball comes oddly off his mallet there. That gray is Sidney. Picked up here, though, by Colombres. Gringo on Malbec here, trying to get downfield, poking it out of the air. Gringo Colombres again out of the air around Pablo. Pablo has him positioned perfectly, doesn't get full contact, and it's Bray and Sidney on the goal mouth there. Pablo trying to knock that one out of there, but Bray gets it done. Nice work there by Jesse Bray.
You know, we've seen Jesse starting in this tournament, and he hadn't played a lot of 26-goal polo coming in, and I've just watched him. We've all watched him just improve his anticipation, the fitness level of his horses. He's got a very good brain on the field under pressure, and you can really see him beginning to excel, and not just in this game, but he's just been getting better and better and better in this level of polo. I think he's got a great future in it myself.
Oh, no, I mean, and, you know, the horses are so important, you know, at this level of polo, and that is something that Jesse's put so much time into. I mean, when we look at his horse list here, you know, and I think that horse actually, one of them actually on Disney now, went from Sydney to Disney. So this horse was 2017 Pacific Coast Open best playing pony. He won best playing pony in 17 and 18. I think 18 actually might have been on the mare, on the horse he started on. Either way, you know, that the horses are so important there, and that horse got that goal for Jesse. I mean, that's why that's so important there. I mean, he was able to beat the defender and get that one downfield and eventually put that ball through. So on the other end of the field now, time is out, 2:38 to go, and a tied Chucker number 1.
Yeah, you know, Mark Ganzi's another guy that's really found his game coming into the Triple Crown. I think that realigning the team raised everybody's comfort level. You know, his brain on the polo field is like a computer. He analyzes everything so quickly. It's really amazing to see. And but everybody on this Audi team has really found a comfort level amongst themselves and a style of play that they're you can see. That's the reason they're excelling in this tournament without a doubt. The talent's there. The horse flesh is there. They finally switched the lineup and found a rhythm. And it's early in this game, but you can see it's quite evident that they are still playing that game because they know that's the best way for them to win polo games.
Look at this. Pablo's wide open. We'll see if Campson can get him the ball. That window starting to close there, but Campson now wide open. He hits hard out in front. Will it get to Pablo? He waits. It passes the stirrup there, and Pablo is in action. Juan Martin Obregon trying to thwart the effort there of Pablo McDonough. A little bit of that worked. Bray with the back shot trying to catch Johnny O on the move. Ball and the action out at the sideboards there. Gringo Colombres with control for Alegria. The Alegria lineup is Mannix, Bray, Colombres, and Juan Martin Obregon. It's Gringo Colombres under that red helmet working through the midfield now with Roldan trailing. Roldan hoping for a miss here as Gringo Colombres moves into Campson's defensive territory now. Colombres keeps driving hard towards the corner, looks to change the trajectory there with a deep neck shot. That one ends up in Campson's lap there for about a second and a half before falling back to the ground. Juan Martin Obregon trying to charge through. Gringo trying to finish what he had started in the midfield area, and the time is now out here. Time stops with 1:27 left in the first.
Yeah, there was some congestion down there in the goal mouth, and evidently one of the Audi players was in the right of way as he was taking that ball to the goal mouth, and so I would think we'd have an open goal here in favor of Alegria, but let's wait and see what the umpires determine.
Looking like some sort of opportunity here for those guys either way, and they're going to put that one right on through. So they have the option of taking it from the spot there or putting it on the line, and they're absolutely going to take that one from the point where that foul occurred, which was essentially point-blank range. And Alegria is on top here, over 3-0 Audi by 1 goal. It's 2-1 with 1:10 left to play in Chucker number 1. Great action here out of these teams.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll both come to this game and try to win. Again, it just improves their position in the bracket they fall into, and so the higher you up or higher up you are in your bracket means you'll play potentially the weaker team in the semifinals. So they both have every reason to try to win this game.
Yeah, exactly. There's, people might say, oh, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Audi's got their spot. There's no way that Alegria is in the semis of the Palm Beach Open. But it means a lot here because it determines the play for the rest of the tournaments here, for the semis and the Palm Beach Open for Audi, and for the next tournament that these guys go into here for Alegria. They are just giving it everything they have here. The 30-second horn goes in Chucker number 1. Now the whistle sounds, and that will wrap things up here for the first. They stopped the first with the same intensity level that they started it. Great action here for the first 7.5 minutes, Dale. 2-1 at the end of the first.
Yeah, neither team has really found their rhythm. Looks to me like Alegria came out here a little bit more ready to play their game, but I think we've seen enough out of Audi that they'll get it together. They're staying together. They're not frustrated. They're getting themselves lined out, and as this game progresses, I think we'll see more and more of that.
Well, we've got 5 Chuckers left here. We're going to go to commercial break right now and be back for Chucker number 2 after these commercial messages.
When you hit that sweet spot in the mouth, the ball's going to take off.
Like a horse gives you confidence, a mallet gives you a lot of confidence.
It's called a quiet eye in sports psychology, and they're able to use their mallet like an extension of their hand. It's like they're seeing the world in slow motion.
Entonces, cuando empiezas a multiplicar todas las probabilidades que te da una sola caña, puedes hacer 10.000 tacos.
So we're back live here in South Florida. If you're tuning in late, welcome to World Polo League action here. This is Palm Beach Open. Match number 4 for these two teams here. Audi's looking to go 4-0. Alegria trying to come away 2-2 here. If you're wondering exactly what these matches mean, so to speak. Audi is already in. They've already made it to the semifinals. This will help determine positioning now for who Audi plays. They want to come away with the best record, which would be 4-0. And that means that they would play a team with a lesser record or that lost in some sort of shootout or record situation. And Alegria playing for their positioning in the subsidiary as well. So I'm joined here by Commissioner of the League, Dale Smiklis. Dale, thank you again for sitting with us. I'd like to let our viewers know that we've got, if we lose Dale here and there, he's an important guy and plays a lot of roles here at the field. So we're happy to have him with us today, but we know that our time could be limited here and there, and if you hear things going on, he's working while commentating here, so a busy guy on all accounts. Looks like checker number 2 starts with Pablo McDonough drilling a penalty 3 there. I think that one ended up poolside. A decisive shot there to wrap up essentially what was started in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, in these teams, just for the viewers, the players on these teams, their positioning in the semifinals means everything to them. They've seen all these teams play. They've played against some of them, and they realize, going into the semifinals, that if they can improve their position and end up playing one of the weaker teams in the semifinals, that obviously improves their position to get to the finals. And so it means everything from a player's perspective, what this game does for them as it relates to where they end up in the semifinals. And
if there's any question, Dale, before this game went live, there were players coming over for our viewers at home. There were players coming over specifically to talk to the commissioner at midfield here for that exact reason. Like he said, it means a lot to these guys, and they want to know exactly, what's on the line and what's coming down at him. Speaking of coming down at him, that was Juan Martin Obregón coming down the line there. Nick Roldan. Roldan gets the back shot off, though, and finds Pablo McDonough. Pablo trying to get some work done there on Gringo Colombres. And I think he does a fine job of it there, the way these guys are riding past that ball. That whistle sounded there 1 minute and 5 seconds into the second. Nice work by the seasoned veteran there, Pablo McDonough, to eat up some ground on Gringo Colombres there and essentially catching Gringo with his hand in the cookie jar on that one. We watched the replay.
Yeah, you can see that the window was closing. Colombres was slowing down, and Pablo was speeding up, and so the window was closing very fast. And by the time Gringo got to the ball to hit a back shot or to play it forward, it was just too late. It was Pablo's ball, Pablo's line.
That's a 10-goal move all day long. You saw the anticipation there out of Pablo as Gringo started to make the move for that ball. Pablo knew already, and he's on a great horse that he loves there, and was able to chew that ground up and get her done.
Pablo McDonough is arguably the best number 3 in this level of polo and above in the world. It's part of the reason that he plays 3 on the La Delfina team. He's just such an incredible captain. He's got such great eyesight and great ability to see where he needs to be and when he needs to be there and to get there in the shortest amount of time that it takes. He's just a master at the position number 3, in my opinion. And Nick is where he needs to be. He's an aggressive player. He's a big hitter, and so some people think he's better off at the back of the game. But he's a pretty versatile player, and I think he's at least as comfortable up at number 2 as he is at back.
If not more so. It's especially right now. Real quick, we just saw a fantastic penalty conversion down there. Mark Gansey dropping scoring on a penalty 3 there, a 40-yard shot, beautiful chip shot. The defender's trying to knock it down, but that one was right down the middle. And Audi is back on top here, scores 3-2. Roldan, is just to continue that thought process there. Really just playing some awesome polo. You can tell after going England, Argentina, now here in World Polo League, he's really the tuning, I guess. He's really tuned well.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about this level of polo. It's every level above a level that you played before. It does nothing but improve your skill. It improves your anticipation. And obviously playing in 40-goal polo really, really helped him coming into the 26-goal league this year. You can see that he learned a lot playing in that level of polo, and he's carrying it on here.
So that one ends up wide of the goal, over the back line, out of play. 3-2 here in checker number 2. Gansey on Dolphy Maestra here. As we look at the pony list. Actually, he's not. I think he just switched off that horse. Roldan on Afghana. Mannix, Lily, Columbres. I think just made a... That might still actually be Malbec there for Gringo. Juan Martin, Obregon. Oh, man.
Great eye by Jesse Bray, no?
What a shot. I mean, that's a true alley-oop.
Yes, it was.
That was a true alley-oop there. Juan Martin Obregon on that safety, I guess, right? Yeah, safety. Yeah. Jesse, wow.
Hard to defend that because it's hard to anticipate that somebody's got that kind of eye-to-hand coordination to play that ball like you said. That was a really neat thing to see for me.
Unbelievable. I mean, they could try that 50 more times and be lucky to get that done. I mean, that is exactly what you hope for as a hitter when that ball is going wide. And here they come energized by that last goal by Bray. It's Freddie Mannix wanting his name on the score sheet there. Mannix trying to get that one between the posts down there. I think it ended up wide.
Yeah.
Just bad luck there at the end. I kept waiting for that flag to go.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a, from our position here, a little bit of crown in the field. Campson, though, on the restart, lofted shot out in front. Roldan's going to run onto that one and take it about knee high to the horse there. Roldan Alegria runs in goal there with one of his own. Nice work.
Great
Chris
goal.
Campson off the back line.
You know, it's so incredible to watch these guys. They're out-of-hand coordination. In the meantime, it's their brain works to the end of their hand, but they're so good and they practice so much that their eye actually works at the end of their mallet. The quality of the mallet or the stick is so important to these guys because it's just literally an extension of their hand as far as they're concerned. And when they're really comfortable with the stick, it's probably at least as important as being comfortable with a horse.
Oh, I mean, it's no doubt about that. If there's any questions, stay tuned for the next In the Saddle episode because that's exactly what we dive into. I mean, talking to these guys about how important the mallet is. Paylone Sterling talks about the confidence that the mallet gives you. Look at that. Pablo McDonough, confident as they come. Oh, baby. I mean, this is some wide-open polo here. 2:49 to play. Pablo McDonough, I mean, just the right touches here. This... I mean, as far as degree of difficulty goes, a bouncing ball. Look at the replay. I mean, that ball just knows exactly where to go. Binoculars it might have to find its path.
You know, when you look at Pablo, he sits a horse so well. He makes it so easy for a horse to play polo, and he's always in a position where he can be ready so quickly. That's one of the things that I think the majority of these 10-goal players actually do have is they're always ready in an instant to change direction with their horse, with their stick.
Look at Freddie.
I mean, that great play by Fred.
Doing what you were just saying. I mean, trying to adapt, whether it's horse, whether it's mallet, whatever. I mean, it looked like Freddie was having trouble with the bouncing ball along the ground, so he just picked it up and started playing it in the air. Nice defensive work by Audi to thwart the drive there. It was actually Juan Martin Obregon. That ball got knocked down. He had a big opportunity on a neck shot there, but got caught in some traffic, ended up wide and out. And here's Pablo on the restart. Oh, Freddie putting the brakes on there. Gringo Columbres trying to sting Campson down in the corner. Columbres with an opportunity here. Fred Mannix has been just deadly on those swipes. We'll see if it will create the goal opportunity.
Oh, it looked like it bounced off the goalpost.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, Alegria is just, they are banging on that door. What a play there by Freddie. He had a big play like that in midfield in their previous match. It ended up in a goal. Campson with Mannix all over him here on the knock-in. Campson uses those long arms to get some space there on Fred Mannix, and now uses the horsepower to increase that distance. Mannix there, he gets the hook, but Campson backed up by Pablo. As you said, one of the best, if not the best, number 3 in the world, working downfield. Campson trying to move inside there, but he's worked out of the play, and Mannix gets the back shot, picked up there in the midfield by an in-motion Roldan. He fires an open back shot looking for Mark Ganzi, but it's backed already by the number 4 for Alegria. Juan Martin Obregon, and they're coming out of Alegria territory. It's Jesse Bray. Get out of his way. He is coming through. Bray leaves that ball behind, though, and it's Mannix chopping a back shot inside. Look at Juan Martin. Oh, man, these guys talk about firing on all 8 here today. The coordination is unbelievable. Nick Roldan, moving downfield. Nick Roldan shooting to goal. Roldan just wide.
He is on today. He is. He's mentally really, really ready to play. He's just quick and on the spot. And we're starting to see this Audi team, the ability this Audi team has to play this level of polo. It's just starting to come through now.
It's the hand-eye, without it, there's nothing.
Look at Juan Martín Obregon, the play that he just made, meeting a ball, and it's in midair, and he takes a full swing. And
that ball's probably going 70 miles an hour. He's probably moving at 25 or 30 at that.
Yeah,
in the angles and different angles, that ball's coming at him. I mean, it truly a high degree of difficulty there.
Absolutely amazing.
And that is how we will end Chukker number 2. So another banging Chukker of polo here in Wellington this morning. We will go away for a quick commercial break and come right back into the action here. This is ChukkerTV and the Polo Channel's live coverage of the World Polo League. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the action here. We're preparing to start Chukker number 3. We have seen some awesome action here through the first 2 Chukkers, as Dale and I were just talking about. It's just amazing to see the hand-eye coordination out of these guys, and talking about that not only are they phenomenal polo players, but a lot of these guys insane golf and tennis players, any sort of rackets, and ball sport. Pablo McDonough, just about a scratch golfer. Roldan's not too far behind. A lot of these guys, not only incredible athletes on the polo field, but off of it as well. Here's Nick Roldan jumping onto the play here for Audi. Mannix coming around. I mean, that swipe move, he just kind of appears. And it's worked a couple times. That one landed him a little bit ahead of the play, helped him get into the next one.
He's such an aggressive player. He's probably arguably as good a one as there is at his handicap in the world. He's so quick and so aggressive. And when he decides to make a play and go to a play, a lot of times, regardless of who it's against, they're not prepared for him to be as quick as he is.
Well, and not only that, not only is he a good number 1, he's also a good number 4. So, like in that situation where he goes and he doesn't get the ball, he ends up ahead of the play, he can switch to back. He's not out of position.
Nope, he's got great vision regardless of the position he plays in on the field.
Roldan finds one on the south side there. Nice work. The persistence pays off.
Yeah, we're starting to see that Audi team. We've been seeing it. We started seeing it in the second Chukker, and we're certainly seeing it carry on here in the third.
Look at that touch.
I know they've really found the game that got them to 3-0 so far. They really have.
And it's not really anything you can take away from Alegria. It's just, I think, what Audi is doing. I mean, they've, when Roldan is on like he is right now, it's some tough stuff to contend with. We saw a big big combination of Campson on a knock-in, hitting it about 150 yards, and Roldan driving it about 150 after that.
Well, Mark and Nick have played a lot of polo together, and Chris has played a lot of polo with both those guys, and so it's not that new of a team. Pablo's new to it, but Pablo, being the polo player that he is, had no trouble fitting in and figuring out how to line the team up, and really has gotten the best out of everybody, including himself. And Alegria, this is a first-year team, a lot of talent and a lot of good horse flesh, but being a first-year team, it's always difficult to find your game in the very first season that you play together as a team. You learn so much playing together that they're just learning game by game here instead of having come into the tournaments prepared. And
I think Roldan has been with Mark since 2013, somewhere right, in there. Campson, certainly no stranger to the Audi colors or anything really Grand Champions related, playing with these guys on the grass, on the beach, in the snow, you pretty much name it. It was interesting talking with Nick and Pablo the other day. They actually played together. Nick said when he was 18, they played over here, I think, in it was less than 20 goal. I can't remember what level it was, but a long, long time ago. So it's kind of fun he said they both acknowledged that it was fun to kind of reconnect on the polo field on the same side of the ball. Look at that. Big shot, big distribution there by Jesse Bray. Let the 10-goaler. Playing his position perfectly there. Mark Gansey coming now. And that one comes right into the booth there. If you heard that one at home, so did we. One right into the side of our broadcast booth, and it'll be an inbound play here. We're all good, thank you. ESPN guys checking on us over there, making sure we're all right. Look at that, another goal on the south side there. A beautiful inbound play that gets right to goal. Man, oh man, let's check the replay on that one. Quick moves off the sideboards. 4 minutes left here. Chukker number 3 goes 6-4. Man, a big shot right on in. 6-4 here, Chukker number 3. Alegria trying to narrow the gap between these two teams. Audi wins the throw-in. Mannix trying to hold Campson up. Mannix inside of Chris Campson. Campson fires over them. Pablo going to work for Audi. Right on through.
Oh, incredible stuff. There's another example. Pablo knew where to be. He didn't lose confidence in Chris. Chris took a shot, bounced off a horse, got back to it, took another shot. Pablo was there. It was just an incredible team play. Great example of team play.
That ball bouncing off the before that the flagger and horse came through the frame there. We could see that ball bouncing off the cane of Pablo's mallet. Just delicate touches there. Get that one where it needs to go. Audi gets that goal back. So 3:07 left in the half, and I think the umpires have given an official timeout here, probably for a tack-related issue. I would imagine
some of the players are taking advantage and going to switch horses. But,
no doubt about it. Our pony list starts going blank here when these guys head to the sidelines.
That's one of the things that's changed about polo today versus 30 years ago when I played professionally is. The style of polo was such that you could get a horse fit enough and play at a full chukker and maybe more than that. And so your horses, my horse list back in my day was 8 to 9 horses at the polo field, and I rarely used all 9 of them ever.
Yeah, that's a warm-up and one for overtime maybe.
And with this game, the intensity and the speed of this game and the ball handling, it's changed. And now these horses are trained to last 3 to 4 minutes at peak operation as far as stopping, turning, running, checking, and it's just really hard for them to last more than 3 or 4 minutes at peak performance, and so they switch.
And these equine athletes, I mean, just absolutely spectacular to watch. Here's Jesse Bray on Indigo, a 14-year-old black gelding, working downfield. Jesse Bray, Nick Roldan in to defend. Nice defensive play there by Roldan on Layla. And the boards, it's Pablo McDonough. Trailed by Campson. Campson Excuse me, Roldan on Ilusionada now. Not Layla. Sorry, Layla. Sorry, Ilusionada, calling you the wrong name. Here's Mark Ganzi out in front and in to try and defend. Jesse Bray, Campson hoping for a whistle, but the umpires keep it to themselves, and the ball in the midfield picked up by Colombres. Gringo Colombres. Mannix. Teammates trailing. Left for Gringo, sent for Johnny O. Pablo there to close the door. It's all about timing, and Pablo had it on that one. Mannix on the near side. Mannix, short shot picked off by Roldan. Nick Roldan. Roldan trying to create an opportunity to move inside. Roldan, the angled shot. Can't get that one through. Fred Mannix. Roldan along the ground. Will he have the touch this time? Of course he will.
Yeah, he's, watching him throughout this tournament, too. His horse has gotten fitter and fitter, and it's fun to watch both these teams play, but watching Audi come together the way that I think everybody anticipated that they could. Mark Ganzi, I can't say enough about, he found his game mentally, and it's really showing physically on the field in his performance, and the rest of the team seems to follow suit when he's on, they're on, and hats off to him. He's a very, very, very aggressive player and a very thoughtful player. He's a thinker on the polo field under pressure.
Man, we saw it roll down there with another just ever so delicate touch. A reminder, for anybody looking for tips at home, it's not about how hard you hit it, but where exactly the ball goes that matters more. I mean, that ball just getting across the line there, but that's all it has to do.
That's it.
We're in the final minute of play here, 44 to go in the first half. Audi has a 4-goal lead over Alegria. Juan Martin Obregon, big back shot, comes into Ganzi there. Mark Ganzi, back shot towards the goal, just outside. The horn goes, the chukker ends. Awesome action, Dale. Audi with a 4-goal lead, but no shortage of running up and down this field and scoring for both of them. Alegria with some opportunities maybe left on the door, and
the first half hurt them really and truly. They how many goals did they miss down here at this end? How many opportunities? And I'm sure they'll talk about that at halftime, because they're really not playing that bad or doing anything wrong, but they have to capitalize when they get the ball that close to their goal. They literally have to capitalize on that.
Well, we'll see how the guys come back out after halftime. We've got 3 more chukkers of polo to play here. The team's heading towards their tents right now. This is ChukkerTV and the Polo Channel's live coverage of the World Polo League and the Palm Beach Open. Stick around, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got a brief break for halftime, but we'd love to see you back as we start chukkers 4, 5, and 6. So we'll go to commercial break right now, and we'll see you after that for the start of chukker number 4.
Tried to create a polo mecca here, someplace where we can bring polo sponsors, pros here to our home to enjoy polo.
Hi, I'm Jenny Latrell Bernardani. We're here at my farm at Success Ranch in Declo, Idaho.
So much stuff to do in the afternoon. Kayaking, paddleboarding, ATV riding. Between our guests and in-house pros, you never know what level of polo we're going to get.
This club is one of the most welcoming, friendly, but yet competitive polo clubs.
We're all here for the love of the sport and the love of the lifestyle.
This is the most fun you can have on a horse.
We have several different levels. We play -2 to 20 goals. So if you don't have your own horse, we have club horses that you can use.
The fields here are incredible. We've got 3 great grass facilities, and in the fall and the spring we can play arena.
We do a bunch of events during the summer, and our idea behind that is to promote polo, is to, again, bring polo to the masses. And this past year, we hosted the Rocky Mountain Polo Festival.
Every single person that I've seen at practice, in tournament, is just having a great time.
It's a great group of people.
Everybody and anybody is welcome at the Denver Polo Club.
In your side is pleasure, boom, she pleasure. Pleasure, boom, she pleasure. Deep greedy, googling every corner.
So we're looking at some highlights here from our first half. 12 goals scored in the first 3 chuckers here. Great action out of both of these two. Audi started to pull away from Alegria. Look at this one. I mean, this. I mean, unbelievable play there.
No way to script that one.
And, I mean, this was just another bang-up series here. Campson to Roldan. Roldan to goal.
And Nick came ready today without a doubt.
And again there, I mean, that was him just enough to keep it away from the defender. Pablo, amazing touch there.
He really does.
Interesting to hear, the interviews that have been done with Pablo, hearing him talk about how he handles his mallet. One starting with heavier mallets. This another touch by Nick, just enough to get it in. It has to just beat the defender and just get it and get across the line. It doesn't, that's all it has to do.
I had a former 10-goal player that coached me down here at Palm Beach Polo when I was a 6-goal player, and one of the things he said to me to never forget was that the ball doesn't need to be whacked or hit. It needs to be stroked and carried and worked and put between the post. And it was one of the things that helped me get to 8 goals because I was a big hitter. But I never even, in my mind, even at that time, even as a 6-goal player, I hadn't thought about, wait a second, there's some other stuff that you need to be able to do with this polo ball that's at least as meaningful as being able to crush it. And it made a big difference to me when you started to think about that perspective. And wait, it doesn't always have to be hit. It just has to be carried, moved. Nick and Pablo are specifically showing that. Even you're seeing it on the other team as well. Like I said, I can't talk highly enough about Jesse Bray. and his fitness level and his horse's fitness level. And I mean, there's a guy that he's old school, even though he's a young man. He lives in his barn. He literally lives in his barn every day. There's nothing more important to him. He constantly works on his horses fanatically, and because he knows what we all know. Without the horses, the game doesn't exist, and it's arguably one of the most beautiful horse sports there is, and very natural for a horse to play this game as it relates to the moves that they have to make. And when you hone their skills, it's so pleasant to watch them. It feels fantastic when you're on them playing in this level of polo, and you know you did everything right, and they give you 110%. It's a great feeling, and it's something that doesn't just happen. There's a lot of people involved in that process and in getting those horses ready to play, and it's evident, you know, on some of the best teams. It's very evident the management of the horses and the thoroughness of the thought processes that revolves around the horses and the horses' well-being and training and fitness and feed, and it's evident. And the best organizations in the world aren't just that because they've got great polo players. They're that because from the ground up, the foundation is it understands the significance of the horse flesh to the game of polo.
Well, and you look, you know, to talk about it, organizational, you know, an organization and how they distribute horses and things like that. We'll see Roldan, I think, on a couple camps and ponies out here, you know, so when guys identify horses that might be right for a teammate, you know, putting that guy on the right horses. It's not, you know, the 12 or more horses that they bring to the field. I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands, that are sat on before they find the right one and then start the relationship with them. I mean, it is such there to our viewers at home. You know, if you're to people that might not be real dialed into the inner workings of polo or kind of living it like, you know, we do on a daily basis. I mean, the horses and the amount of time and care that goes into, you know, every part of their day. I mean, when you get back to a barn after a polo game, you know, there's people talking about working on nutrition. Hey, look, we got to keep sugars balanced in this horse so that there's, you know, for a muscle, you know, for the muscles to come back. There's, you know, no buildup. There's no tying up, anything like that. Farriers looking at the shoes. You've got vets, dental, you know, I mean, think about the, you know, horse's teeth. If the way the bit comes through their mouth isn't right and things like that, I mean, that all affects the feel of the horse, which gets you, I mean, the amount of time that is spent on these animals, we can't even highlight enough.
Every one of these players really understands the significance of looking at each one of their horses as the individual that it is. And this one may need this kind of feed, and this one may need this much feed, and this one may need to be shod this way or that way, and this one's better in this bit than that is. There's no blanket statements at the top level of the game as it relates to a string of horses. They're individuals, and the people that work in the barns as well as the players themselves understand the individuality, and they try to deal with that on a one-on-one basis, even though the barn's full of horses.
Right.
Every one of them is treated one-on-one.
And that's important because they all are, I mean, these are not machines. They are like not robots. I mean, the personalities, I mean, you can ask, you know, I was talking with the Darren Tamplin, the team vet for the Grand Champions Casablanca team. I think probably for everything Audi, FlexJet, Grand Champions related. And he was talking about just the character, you know, one of the player's specific horses and how he's just a big kind of goofball, you know. I mean, he knows, you know, you get to know the personalities of the horses as well.
People, they do have unique personalities.
And there's some really mean ones too sometimes, you know, but they absolutely have their strengths.
Well, that's another thing that the great organizations recognize is that when a horse is tough to deal with in the barn on a daily basis, if he gives that player 7 minutes a week, 3 times a week or 2 times a week, that's all you have to have your way. And if you give that horse what it needs its way the rest of the time, that horse is going to play good for you for a very long time.
Oh, that's a great way to think about it too. You know, if they do the handful of jobs that they're asked, the grooms will put up with the idiosyncrasies or the, you know, the little quirks of that horses have. Because it's worth it, you know, and that's what this game is about. They'll say it's 80% of a player's handicap. Ooh, look at that, a couple whistles on that one. I think that these umpires, if I'm you have a better idea on this than I do, but if I'm listening properly, they do not want any more discussion from the players.
Well, you have to be careful. It looks to me like the Audi teams asked for a challenge on this play, and I think Pablo felt like the line was close enough to his angle of approach that he didn't cross the line. And the great player behind obviously asked for a foul. One of the umpire that blew the whistle felt he was definitely on the right line or the right angle to determine that. But one of the reasons they're able to challenge is when the umpires disagree and they go to the third man, or if they do agree but they haven't gone to the third man, then they want him to review the play from the drone and from the all kinds of different angles to really decide was it a foul or wasn't it a foul.
I think this one's going to go against those guys. That way, that ball kicked off Pablo's horse, and that Alegria player, I think, is first to the line there. We'll see what they say here, but that's what the replay kind of looked like there. But it's tough, man. I mean, it is, you know,
That's a great example of why they're playing this game the way they are. I mean, if it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't challenge a call. They'd go line up, and this game means something to him. And Pablo thought he was right. He's got the ability to challenge. He's lost it now that he lost that challenge. But nonetheless, that's a sign of the intensity of this game. It's not just a game. It's not just one of the league games. It's just as intense as the first game of the league was for both these teams.
We'll look at the horse list here. Mark on Nadia, Nick on Rafa, Pablo on Comadre. That's Arinite Cuñado and Lunatico combination there. Young up-and-coming horse of Pablo's. And then Campson, and 10-year-old unraced American thoroughbred named Sunoco. For Alegria, Freddie on Minima. What are you seeing, Dale?
I think what we've got here may be a challenge on behalf of the Alegria team, too, as it relates to placement of the penalty shot.
Ooh,
I
like
wanted
that.
It closer.
I like that.
Than the umpires decided to put it. So we could have had a challenge to the foul, and now a challenge to the placing of the penalty shot is what I think I see.
That is an interesting use of the challenge by Alegria. I like it. I think is probably a tough one to overturn, but we'll see. I mean, you're really pushing it with the umpires there when you're challenging positioning. But I mean, again, like you just said, that's where we are. These guys are for real. I mean, if they get one back here, that ball moves from a 4 to a 3. That's 20 yards.
Yeah, no, that's the mentality of this game for both teams, and I do believe that's what's being discussed now on behalf of Alegria. And I like the call by the umpires as far as where they put the ball down now. But we'll see what the end result was. You know, one of the greatest things about the instant replay and the drone coverage is you can really see, did he have a straight shot to goal? Was he at an angle and it would have been a super tough shot? Looks to me like they've decided to leave it where it was.
And some of those, the line is a little bit easier to kind of challenge, but the decisions are at the discretion of the umpires as far as placement goes based on location and severity of the foul. And not as black and white.
Well, you again think about it. The umpires are just like a player on the field. They're on horses. They're trying to keep up with the play so they can see what the line is, and so they have to make instant decisions. They don't have the luxury of, well, let me check the drone and
like
let me look at
do.
the instant replay. And one of the things I talk to them about when we do have some umpire reviews is that let's don't forget. It's easy to sit in here with 20/20 eyesight the day after a game and all the different angles and the instant replay and the drone and that's not how polo is officiated. It's a great opportunity. It's a great tool to learn how to improve yourself consistently, but at the same time, it's just an instant decision on the field like players make.
Yeah, it's interesting because the rules of polo were kind of written from the top down. It's officiated from the side and reviewed from the top down. So the job that the officials do, I try to bring it up every broadcast, but it's tough. I mean, it is unbelievable. Like the players have to make split-second decisions, so do the officials, and the ones that they make can determine which way the game goes.
Yes, indeed.
6:21 to go in Chukker 4 here. And time is out. We'll see.
I think that they may have blown a foul there, and then they disagreed and went to the third man, and the third man decided.
No foul.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
maybe some sort of gentleman's agreement on that one between the teams.
That's one of the things that happens in the World Polo League, and I'm also proud of that. As intense as these games are, we've seen 10-goal players admit when they saved a goal that they really didn't save a goal and it was a foul, and we're starting to see some of the sportsmanship that was part of the sport decades ago come back, and which is really, it's interesting to me with the intensity of the level of 26-goal polo that we've increased the sportsmanship at that level as well, and that my hat's off to the players and the team owners as well as the umpires, because that's a mental situation that they've created and adapted to, and they basically created on their own. And I'm very happy to see that. Very happy.
Look at that. Pablo puts one off the goalpost there on a nice series of touches between he and Roldan. And the clock stops now. 5:28 left here in checker number 4. To put that, just to kind of frame that last conversation up, what we were talking about there in the sportsmanship is that Alegria was on the run north. They were stopped by a whistle. The umpires decided no foul and threw the ball back in. Because Alegria was moving north, Audi gave them the opportunity that they had previously had out of the throw in there. That's kind of what we're talking about, is from a sportsmanship standpoint. If you weren't tracking there, that should spell it out, that, you know, these guys understood that they were, you know, if they would have gone the other way, Audi would have said, man, we were on our way to goal there, like Alegria was saying. So nice sportsmanship on that side. And they give, I guess, a foul down there and then a goal for Audi. They have it as 9-5 there, but I don't know about that other Alegria goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either, to be honest with you. I'm not exactly sure what happened down here. I know they called a foul, but I don't know. Why the score at this moment is 9-5. We'll get
so they pulled that one back, and it was the foul moved to midfield.
I see.
But I'm still wondering about that 5th goal for Alegria that they're showing live here. They pull the 9th goal for Audi back. And Alegria picks up another one there. That makes it 8-6 at the field, they're calling it. Look at that, Pablo frustrated as they come back here. He's still frustrated on the ride back. We'll see if Alegria has gotten in the heads of these Audi players here. They're within 2. Chucker number 4.
Yeah, they'll need to find their composure again, specifically Pablo, and maybe it was a good call. Maybe it wasn't on behalf of the umpires, but it's something that they have to live with and keep playing the game, and hopefully that's exactly what happened.
Mannix, he does it again. I mean, just a thief here today. Fred Mannix now has Chris Campson to contend with. He drops that ball downfield. Going to make it Campson's problem here. Campson drives it further into Audi territory, takes an odd bounce as it touches turf, and Mannix putting the pressure on the 10-goaler Pablo here. At the boards, Pablo rides out over the field with Freddie. Freddie trying to challenge Campson there. Campson moves inside. Coming down the sideboards, Mannix gets him again there cleanly and creates an opportunity for Gringo Colombres on Coquito, a 10-year-old trying to tap his way to goal. Pablo beats him on the inside, though. Pablo McDonough, Pablo. Challenged by Freddie again there, of course. Picked off by Bray, though. Jesse Bray, nice pickup by Bray on Legend. Bray, the number 2, trying to drive downfield, trying to get it to Freddie. Freddie is working hard here in Chucker, number 4, to grab control. 3:06 left to play, and everybody heads for the pony lines here. We'll see how this one shakes out. Oh, they call play. Everyone's off switching. Freddie trying to come back here. Nice block by Roldan to keep him out of the picture. Pablo moving downfield. Campson's on a fresh pony. Juan Martin Obregón trying to manage Campson. Pablo drops it for Nick, and Nick drops the big bomb out in front. It's going to need some help. A big left turn if it has a chance. Campson, his wingspan stopped there by Juan Martin Obregón. Mannix drives that one over the back line and out of play.
I think that there's either a chance it was over the back line, or Freddie just decided let's take the chance with a safety, because the very next player behind him was Pablo. And so it was one of two things you have to do: score the goal, or don't leave the ball on the field. And I think Freddie just decided the best thing that he could do at that moment was make sure he doesn't leave the ball on the field, because he didn't have any help coming behind.
Well, and that's a great heads-up play there by Fred Mannix, because the other option most likely is to foul him.
Well,
and then they're going to end up at point-blank range or penalty two.
He's going to hit a back shot at full speed, flying over the end line, and so he's made one play and it's over. And when he knows for sure that the player behind him is Pablo McDonough, if he doesn't feel like he can get a real big back shot off, maybe let's take the chances and see if he can make a 60-yard foul shot.
I like either way, I like weighing those odds, because that's what he was doing. Here's Pablo. We'll see if the odds paid off.
Rockets.
Well, at least you made him shoot from 60. Pablo able to put it through, but, I think that given his brother, he would do that again.
I think so, too. Like I said, I think it's hard when you're watching the game to decide why did he hit the ball out of bounds. It's going to give the other team a 60. I think based on his speed and based on the fact that he knew who wasn't behind him, which was some help, he did the best thing he thought he could do. And so I think I have to agree with the call. Or his decision.
Yeah, his call. Yep, his call. His personal call there to hit that one out. Yeah, that's I like the kind of the thought process there. That's an interesting kind of situation, because, like you said, he backs it in. Pablo potentially has a 30-yard tap to goal. That's kind of his thing. Yep. That's right in the wheelhouse for Pablo. For sure. That's where he likes the ball. So there's your other option. Make him shoot it from 60. Now, unfortunately, he's a heck of a shooter. But that's how it goes. So 1:55 to go in Chucker 4. 3 goals separating these two teams.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be an open goal for Alegria there. Pablo tried to stay on his side of the line, but evidently he was unsuccessful.
So as mentioned here before, sitting with the commissioner, he is a busy man and needing to step out and deal with a situation here. We see Alegria. Well, with the penalty attempt here, Gringo Colombres, the number 3 for Alegria, on the penalty 3 there, and he puts that one through. So a 2-goal game now. As they have it here, it makes it 9-7. I'm still confused about where one of those Alegria goals came from, but I think that they might be working on kind of going through the score sheet right now and confirming some of that. Hard to tell. That's just my speculation here as I sit in the booth and watch what's unfolding outside. Either way, there's 1:25 to go now in Chucker 4. And the ball's back in play. Mannix wins the throw-in. Freddie Mannix driving downfield for Alegria, trying to keep that ball moving south there. Pablo has trouble with it. Juan Martin Obregón trying to put some touches on it. The ball left by its lonesome, picked up by Gringo Colombres. Gringo Colombres trying to finesse it through some traffic there, trying to just bash his way through a traffic jam, trying to shoot under a bunch of ponies. I mean, you could throw a rope and catch all of them right now. The umpires don't need a rope. They've got a whistle, and that's what stops us here inside of 1 minute left in Chucker number 4. 54 seconds to go. We watch here, trying to determine what the umpires are looking at. We see Gringo into some traffic here. Colombres puts it down the left side of Campson, trying to come back to it. Freddie coming in hot there. Campson saying the line is moving up and down. And the umpires are saying that's a foul and a penalty for Alegria, and they get it. So how about that? They go 9-8 here at the end of Chucker number 4. We'll see if there's going to be enough time to get the ball back and play. I don't think so. There are about 9 seconds until the warning horn. As they get back to midfield here, that horn's going to go. And that will do it for the 4th. So Chucker 4 is out the door. We've had it at 9-8. The score now at the field is saying 9-7. We will try and determine exactly what happened there and keep you posted. This is ChukkerTV and the Polo Channel's live coverage of the World Polo League and the Palm Beach Open. A banging match here between Audi and Alegria. Folks, don't go anywhere. Chukker number 5 comes alive after these commercial messages. We'll be right back.
La yegua más famosa que por historia, que me ha divertido cómo viene el cuento, es la falta en vido, que la ha ganado contra un amigo jugando al truco. Falta en vido significa como el final del partido, ¿no? Entonces le canté falta en vido, él me quiso y le gané con 25. Y la yegua terminó siendo una de mis yeguas favoritas en toda mi carrera, de hecho la cloné, la tengo clonada. Pero lo más increíble que del cuento es que la yegua ganó Copa de la Reina, mejor yegua, jugó el abierto varios años.
Rugby player clutching thin air as Cambiasso slips away, puts on the heater, takes the ball down the ground.
Y tengo hijas que bueno, las llamo a través de los nombres del juego, que son la Flor, la Sota, todo a través de lo que es el truco y el juego se llaman los hijos, así que y la verdad que tengo muchas hijas jugando acá, una está jugando rock y otra estoy jugando yo.
So I've been playing floor now and it's incredible. The acceleration that this horse has out of the plays is pretty phenomenal. You know, you see a play and think to go to it and she accelerates into it with so much power, but at the same time she has so much handle and flexibility that to slow down afterwards it's so easy. And you know, I never rode Falta en Vido, but I can imagine that she has a lot of the same attributes that her mother did.
I played Sota the first time in 2012, and she was 7 years old. There was a year that she came from Argentina, and after that I played her again in 2015 and 2016. And probably in 16 was one of my best mares. Adolfo's gonna play her this year in the World Polo League season. Has a lot of power, you know, good mouth, is good acceleration and very good endurance. You know, they will play two chuckers quite well, and that I think is why they are so good.
We come in hot here, right back into the action. Chukker number 5 is off and working. It's been a battle through the midfield here for the past 7 seconds since the ball was thrown in. It's Roldan moving cross-field here for Audi. Nick Roldan at the sideboards being pressured by a very aggressive Fred Mannix. And Jesse Bray over there as well, adding his 2 cents. Momentarily lost the commissioner here. He's dealing with trying to figure out what was going on with the discrepancy in the score there. We, just to give you an idea, adjust our score bug to the live scoreboard at the field. That is the, you know, the method that we use here. So they have made an adjustment field side, and we've done the same. So 9-7. 6.5 to go here in Chukker 5. We're just a minute into the 5th. This is where we are seeing some big horsepower here out of both of these teams. Ganzi on Estoril, Nick Roldan on Botella, Pablo on Pizza, and Campson on Lookers, or Leoncita, a 10-year-old off the track thoroughbred for Alegria. Freddy's on Jenny, Juan Martin on Pygmea, Gringo on Tango, and Jesse on Venice. Venice was the 2018 best playing pony of the Pacific Coast Open. That's what I was looking for earlier. So the big horsepower out here, the big guns alive in Chukker 5. It's Campson driving downfield. Jesse Bray trying to shut him down there. Nice work by Bray on that pony who won best playing in top honors in the Pacific Coast Open this past summer. Pablo McDonough on Pizza, horse that's played the 40 goal down in Argentina, first year playing in the United States. And here's Gringo Golombres on Tango. Ball comes downfield, rolled on, there to defend. Near side, back shot, moves into the field there, and it's picked up here by the number 4, Chris Campson. Campson coming cross field. Now Juan Martin. Back shot off the sideboards, Gringo Colombres trying to be first to the line. He is. A big ball off the mallet. A Gringo out in front for Fred Mannix. Mannix needs a little move to the right there to get it done. It's looking like it comes across the front or maybe just behind that goal mouth. Rather there we saw a big burst of speed by Freddie on an American thoroughbred named Jenny. Bought off the track in Cincinnati, Ohio. Here's Pablo McDonough. Out to the right, Mark Gansey beating feet there on Estrella. Gansey doing a fine job. Over the midfield line he goes into the Alegria half. Juan Martin Obregón chasing behind Mark Gansey. Gansey having trouble with the bouncing ball there. It's left now, and the defender moves in here for Alegria. Juan Martin fakes back, and he goes forward. Campson putting himself where that tail shot would have been. Juan Martin trying to send for Mannix out in front. That ball drops in Audi territory, and Nick Roldan eats some ground up there. Oh, no, he can't handle that ball moving forward, and Freddie just unloads a big ball downfield. Oh, Freddie, wide that one goes, but awfully close to sneaking one in there by Mannix. And it'll be an Audi knock-in here. So 9-7. If you're tuning in late here and wondering what is going on in this match here, it's Audi 3-0. They're into the semis. But this match about positioning in the different tournaments here. Audi has made it to the semifinals of the Palm Beach Open. Alegria will move into the subsidiaries. And this is all about positioning here. Whichever team comes out will have one of the best records of the teams there that they are against, and that'll put them playing one of the lesser teams or teams with a lesser record there, which is essentially where you'd like to be. So these guys, even though they're not essentially playing for positioning in the same tournament, they are playing hard because both of them need a win to help the chances of better positioning for the remainder of the respective tournaments. Jesse Bray with the next shot. Wide. I had the privilege of sitting with Dale Smickless for the first 4.5 chukkers, or almost 4 and change of this match here. He's been called to his duties as commissioner. Hopefully we'll have him back on some more great insight from Dale. Freddie Mannix. Sampson wants a whistle. Colombres still working hard here on the back line. Gringo Colombres playing tricky stick with Roldan. Nick Roldan throwing everything he has. Colombres pops that one through. We have got a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. We go 9-8. Watch Gringo. I mean, gets around him. He's at midfield. Ball back in play. Roldan wins the throw-in. Picked up by Gringo. And time is out. The whistle sounds. 1:04 left now in Chukker 5. Tight match here between Audi and Alegria. Not that it needed too much of a sail there. You could see that line. Working downfield now. Juan Martin. Nice back shot there by Juan Martin Obregón. Chukker number 5. We watch the replay. And we'll see how this one ends up here. The team's still circling around the umpires there. The officials on their radio. I think there is either a challenge or some sort of review taking place here. Just based on the action I'm seeing field side here. Again, 12 seconds ahead of the warning horn. The replay again. Campson trying to move. It's all in the hands of the guys in black and yellow. We watch again. Very close there. Very close. Freddie, no doubt about it. Very close to that line. The umpires with the task of determining, was he too close to that line. The umpires have come out of the booth. I think they're relaying their findings to the mounted officials. 2 guys in the saddle, 1 guy on the sidelines. The guy on the sidelines is a third man. He's there to help with the challenges and reviews and things like that, as well as settle any potential on-field disputes if the umpires disagree on the call. That sixth and final chukker of regulation. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. One more chukker of action here at Grand Champions in regulation. We'll go to a commercial right now and be right back.
Thank you to J5 Polo and Team Valiente. We got to bring a bunch of kids out here to the polo field to learn a little bit about polo and a whole lot about horses.
So we are back field side here, looking live down the center line. 7.5 minutes of polo remain. The difference between the scores with these two teams has been as much as 4 at one point. Alegria is back within 2. An important match for both of these teams. Some people might look at this and say, hey, what's the point? You know, Audi's already into the semis. Alegria is on to the subsidiary tournament. You know, these guys, is it going to be much of a game? You're darn right it is a heck of a game here because they are playing for positioning at this point. You know, each of these teams wants the best record. The better your record, then you play, you know, the better record you have means that you'll have better seeding, theoretically, and then that you'll play a team with a lesser record. So both of these, Fred Mannix win that throw-in and start the drive north. Pablo McDonough trying to move in motion with him here. Pablo gets the timing right, gets the back shot there. Zaira, that horse there under Fred Mannix, one of his favorites, El Overo Zaira. And the action down in the corner. Nick Roldan, a back shot by Roldan on Guimen. 10-year-old Argentine thoroughbred. Freddie Mannix trying to shoot to goal. Bounces off a hoof. Backed by Campson. Chris on Machitos Hippica. All bouncing around down there. Here's Mark Anzi. Bray on Sydney. Roldan. Nice pickup there. Nick Roldan on Keeman. The 10-year-old Argentine thoroughbred gets around Jesse Bray on his 7-year-old thoroughbred named Sydney. Pony was purchased as a yearling and made by Jesse's dad, Graham. And an up-and-coming mare there. You know, he's got some confidence playing her in the 6th, but those two ahead of him, Roldan and Hippica, or excuse me, and Keeman already had damage done on that one. Another goal for Audi puts them up by 3.
Yep.
I think that it actually sounded a kind of a beat sooner there. I don't think that they heard the whistle. Here's Juan Martin, ball bouncing around down there. I think Obregon saying that that guy had to clear.
Yeah, one of the hardest things to do as the umpire is to make sure that the right-of-way for the player with the ball is open. I mean, these guys, I've done it myself, and so I understand what it means to try to shade the line. And sometimes you get away with it, and sometimes you don't. When you don't get away with it, it really makes you mad, as you can tell. When you do get away with it, it was obviously effective, but it's something that it's a real fine line between shading and a guy having his right-of-way. And so, as it turns out here, they basically, I think they called a foul on the player in front of Pablo McDonough, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know Alegria Audi got the hit.
That we know for sure. Alegria has intercepted before it could leave Audi territory. Juan Martin Obregon trying to go back to work there. Nick Roldan trying to stop him. Here's Gringo hitting through the pack. Jesse Bray and Sydney trying to move to take control there. Jesse right on through. Nice work there by Bray.
Yeah, this is still anybody's game. Audi's obviously got the ability to hang on to the lead if they can, but this Alegria team is quick and effective when they're dangerous when they're in their half of the goal.
Yeah,
or the field, I should say.
And that was actually Disney for Bray there. That's a different gray, not as dark as that previous Sydney. Anyway, ball back in play. Alegria wants to win this one. Pablo with a Poked through the pack, picked up by Mark Gansey. Gansey driving out towards the sideboards. Obregon and Mannix watch that ball as it carries over and out. On the restart, Columbres. Gringo, we look right over his shoulder. Gringo Columbres. Down the left-hand side, hoping for Mannix. Roldan positions nicely, though, to take control. He steals that ball away and starts the defensive drive across field. Mannix, man, I mean, he has a heck of a swipe on him, but he couldn't get it at one. That swipe put on Nick Roldan. Gansey and Roldan pop fly there off the mallet, and Nick, he looks up, watches it drop back down to the ground, and it's already over that back line and out of play. So 3:15 left. Chukker number 6, 2 goals separate these two teams. Alegria trails by a pair. Whistle sounds. That'll stop the clock. Campson on a fresh pony. A couple other guys going to switch. And I think a tack timeout here. So 3 minutes, 7 seconds left. An official timeout here. Campson.
Yeah, it looks like Pablo's horse either had an equipment issue or something else, and that was what the timeout was for.
We already saw Campson jump on a fresh pony, and I think Mark as well. Everybody else, I think we get a full change there. I think we'll see 8 new ponies out here for the remaining 3:07 of action.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. And like you were talking about earlier, I think you've seen both teams, they do want to win this game. And that's literally from the player's perspective, who they end up playing against moving forward into the semifinals. Been a hard-fought game so far.
It's it's kind of interesting to have two teams fighting hard for positioning in a different tournament. But that's what we're doing. I mean, these guys are battling hard for
every win counts.
Every win counts. There's no doubt about that. And they'd like to, both of these teams have their eyes on their respective finals, the Palm Beach Open final and then, our subsidiary.
Exactly.
So it'll be Alegria with the knock in here. Juan Martin. Well-struck ball.
Picked up
Turned
by
up.
Nick.
Yeah, picked up, though. Interception there by Nick Roldan. Roldan, he drills that one. I mean, that one might end up on Lake Worth.
He made the right play, though. A lot of players are trying to carry that ball in. They're in the 6th Chukker. The field may be a little bit rough and because of the rain last night, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with shooting a goal from 70 or 80 yards out if he was even that far.
Yeah, especially Nick Roldan hit the ball like he does. Pablo, nice near side back shot, and that ball now with Jesse Bray. Bray getting it worked around there, I think, on Cayman. Working downfield, Juan Martin there to pressure Pablo McDonough. McDonough gets the back shot off, rolled on, picks it up there. Campson looked like he thought about it or wanted to make his man think that he was thinking about that one, but left for Nick.
Great feed by Nick up to Pablo.
Ooh, man, that one drilled in the back of Gringo Columbres.
That'll sting.
That already does. Body language says it all. He rides right to the medic in the corner over there. We'll see if he is able to stay on.
Nice to see Pablo checking on him, too, because it certainly was unintentional.
Yep, certainly unintentional there, but
it doesn't take the sting out anymore. That's for sure.
There is a Texas Polo tattoo on that man's back somewhere. It looks like, right at the top of the number. They're making sure the ball's not still in there, I think. Gringo's saying, is it in there? Oh, man.
That'll be a welt for sure.
That is going to be a welt for sure. Pablo trying to shoot over that man. We've seen him do it before on those runs to goal. He is an excellent golfer and can use that mallet like a 56-degree wedge, but not enough loft on that one. It catches Gringo square, I think, between the shoulders, right at the top of his number. So they'll give him a minute to shake that one off if he can. In the meantime, we'll see. Yeah, so another kind of sportsman-like restart there. The umpires are bound by the rules. They, can't necessarily make the call like these two teams can.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when one team agrees that they think that this should happen in fairness to the other team, then there's really no way to get in the way of that, in my opinion.
That's cool to see. I mean, that's what it's all about.
I think the worst thing that can happen to a polo game is that it gets over-regulated, and then things get slowed down. It's harder to understand for spectators, umpires, players, and it's just a more challenging game.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. Is that Campson or Nick Reldon?
I mean, there was a deflection along the way, too. See the replay on this one here. Yeah. It's hard to see what deflected it there, but Audi.
Nonetheless, on the board for Audi.
Picking it up. Oh, Freddie. I mean, he is playing some awesomely aggressive polo, and it works out for him more often than not.
Freddie's played in the Argentine Open for several years now, and there's only one way to be successful down there, and that's by being very aggressive. Nobody's loping around or not anticipating it at the highest level of the sport in the world, and just being involved in that, you can really see what Fred's learned from it, and he's that guy.
Oh, what a shot there. Looking for a Cobra strike. Gringo Colombres knocking that one off the doorstep. The 30-second horn has sounded. Audi is going 4-0 in Palm Beach Open play. So they join SD Farms. Now things are starting to get interesting. That's going to mean that we're going to have to somehow determine who is going to be number one in the seeding here. We've got two teams at 4-0, another team with the possibility of going 4-0 this afternoon if Colorado is able to beat Blackwatch. Tough and talented team there. So anyway, there's still a little bit of polo left to play here to figure out how things shake out. But this one is over. The score here is final, 12-9, Audi over Alegria. Just a fantastic match. Can't say enough about the level of polo we saw here today, the level of polo, level of sportsmanship, the level of horses, everything where it needs to be for a good match of polo.
Well, and I can tell you that after this afternoon's game, I'll get together with the guys that I call my team, and that's Robert Tito Zeta and Juan Oliveira. They've been such a tremendous asset to me coming into this position of commissioner, and I'll be getting together with them after the game, and we should be able to determine who's playing who on what day at this point in time and have it out to the media by hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow morning at the very, very latest.
WorldPolo.org for all the updates on the action. My name's Gus Whitelaw. On behalf of myself, my buddy here, Dale Smiklis, the commissioner of the World Polo League, the ChukkerTV and Polo Channel crews, thank you very much to each and every one of you for tuning into our broadcast here. Final score, 12-9 Audi over Alegria. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on our next broadcast. Check worldpolo.org for all the updates.